Hey everyone! So, this is just a quick update to let you guys know what's been happening, and there are a few things to talk about. Some of you might not be aware that I've been streaming quite a bit more recently. Few days ago I streamed a total of 17 hours of Crusader Kings 3 on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm not uploading notifications about these streams to YouTube, mostly because you can't really do that anymore on YouTube. I mean, you can try, but YouTube really doesn't like when you do that anymore. So, if you are interested in live streams, the best way to know that I'm live is to follow me on Twitch. And you can also join my Discord server, because I always post a notification on my Discord when I go live. I have a dedicated live streaming channel on Discord, so you can mute it, you can receive notifications from it, whatever your preference is. But either way, if you are on my Discord, I always post notification there when I go live. So let's talk about what's happening right now and what might be happening in the near future. So I will do Crusader Kings 3 on YouTube. It's just that I want to know the game better before I do that. That's mostly what my live streams on Twitch were all about. And it took me a little bit of time to figure out some of the game mechanics. And there are still some aspects of the game that I don't really know much about. For example, I haven't really looked into religion in Crusader Kings 3. So I don't really know too much about that right now. And there are still other things that I haven't fully figured out yet. But I will be doing Crusader Kings 3 on YouTube sooner or later. I actually already have some interesting starts in mind, which I looked into. So I have a rough plan of what I want to do, I'm just not doing it yet. Meanwhile, again, if you want to see Crusader Kings 3, you can always watch the VOD on Twitch, because it's there. I got 17 hours of Crusader Kings 3 on Twitch. Other than that, there is a new Frontier Pass update coming for Civilization 6 this week on the 24th of September. I will be playing that, probably as Byzantium, but when I'm recording this video, nothing is really known about the goals just yet. So depending on what they will be all about, I might play as Byzantium first, or I might play as the Gauls next. I haven't really fully decided yet. But I'm definitely really excited to play as Byzantium. They look really strong. Other than that, I'm still doing Wasteland 3. I quite enjoy the game, even though, I mean, it's not been very popular here on YouTube. But I quite enjoy it, and I will definitely finish it. It will still take a while, because it's a pretty long game, but I will definitely be finishing it. I have also been thinking about doing one more XCOM 2 campaign before some potential major XCOM release, which I'm hoping will happen next year. I don't know, I do not have any inside information or anything like that, but I'm hoping we'll see XCOM 3 or something along the lines of XCOM 3 in 2021, which leaves me with quite a lot of time to potentially do one more XCOM 2 campaign. Let me know if you would like to see that, because I'm not quite sure how much interest there is in another XCOM 2 campaign. I have done quite a few, but hey, I really like the game still, I always have. There are actually quite a few games I've been thinking about, ranging from Hearthstone 4 and Stellaris, especially Hearthstone 4 with some of the quality total conversion mods, and there are quite a few for Hearts of Iron. And RimWorld as well. I've done a little bit of RimWorld when I had the time on Twitch. I always liked RimWorld. It's just that something else always gets in the way. I've been meaning to play more RimWorld for a while, but I always end up getting sidetracked with something else. But it's still very much on my list. I still got some old retro games on my list. There are a lot of old interesting strategy games. And some other smaller releases, especially around the fourth quarter. There are a few interesting games coming up. Some of them don't really have a potential for like extended series or anything like that. but for a shorter series, they might be quite good. And I enjoy some variety, I always have. Also, since I've been streaming more recently, and by recently I mean basically since May, so like what, 5 months now? And I plan to keep it up. Not only I plan to keep it up, I plan to do it even more frequently than I have. I'm just ramping up slowly to not like overcommit to doing something and then end up not actually doing it because I'm overwhelmed with too many things and I can't possibly do all of them at once. That's the mistake I made in the past. So now I'm just taking it slower and letting it like just happen organically. Which is why I don't really have a streaming schedule just yet. I will at some point, but for now I'm just streaming enough to figure out what kind of times would work the best for me. Because, I mean, if I'm going to stream like, I don't know, 20, 30 hours a week, it needs to be times that work best for me. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. That's the reality. But there will be a schedule sooner or later. And since I am streaming more often, I've been thinking about doing some form of multiplayer with you guys. I'm just not quite sure what games would work best with that. But I have been thinking about doing it maybe like once a week or once every 2 weeks, something like that. Probably on the weekend, because that works best for various time zones. So either Saturday or Sunday. If there are any games in particular you guys think would work well for streamed multiplayer, then let me know in the comments. Because it's actually a pretty tough one to figure out. I mean, there are some obvious ones like Civ, but it doesn't have to be Civ. Also, speaking of multiplayer, I do plan to stream Baldur's Gate 3 when it's released into early access at the end of September, and I will be doing that with an old friend of mine in co-op. I'm not sure if I will be uploading it to YouTube, I mean probably, but I will be doing it on Twitch first. So if you want to see that live, then I will be doing it live on Twitch. So you can follow me there or join my Discord if you haven't, as I mentioned at the start of the video. I also know a lot of you would like to see Civilization 5 in some form. I'm not gonna lie, I really want to move on from that because I don't want to be stuck in the past. But I'm not totally opposed to doing it in some form for old time's sake. It wouldn't be like a regular thing, so maybe like just once in a while for old time's sake. I'm not totally opposed to doing that. I could stream it and then upload it to YouTube. I might do something with it. But it's never going to be the staple of the channel anymore. Because for me, that time has passed. And it's really time to move on from Civ 5. As much as I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, I had, I think, over 2,000 hours in Civ 5, and I really enjoyed Civ 5. And as much as I acknowledge a lot of the flaws Civilization 6 has, I do think it improved a lot compared to around release. It's in a much better state than it was around release. It still has some flaws, some of them might never get fixed, like AI, and I don't want to beat that horse, because it's been beaten to death already. But despite those flaws, I do enjoy Civ 6. A lot of the content that has been added to it, with Gathering Storm, with Frontier Pass, definitely made it more fun and more exciting to play. With that said, I do hope Humankind will be a worthy competitor for Civilization 6. It's really hard to judge from the open dev scenarios, because they presented a very limited slice of the game. So it's kind of impossible to judge it from that. Not to mention, the game is still like at least months away from release. It's not coming out until 2021, and we don't really know when in 2021. First quarter, second, third, fourth? It's not known yet. So it could easily be like almost a year away from release. We don't know. Obviously, I will be playing it when the time comes, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. But again, it's nowhere close to release right now. That much is obvious. And what else? I think that roughly sums it up. I have to say, I have been enjoying streaming quite a bit. And I know some of you said that I should just upload all the streams to YouTube. And yes, I will be uploading some of them. Some of them will be edited. I have been uploading Wasteland 3, for example. That works well. But I've been playing Wasteland 3 on stream with the explicit purpose of uploading it to YouTube after. So I try to keep the pacing as close to a YouTube video as it can be. But with some games, that's not really possible, especially when I'm just learning them, like with Crusader Kings 3. I spent a whole lot of time during my 17 hours of streaming it last week not doing a whole lot, like just figuring out how the heck things actually work. Speaking of editing, I have been talking with someone who's willing to help me with edited videos. Obviously not for free, but we agreed on a rate that will actually be like doable for me. I might still end up doing it at a loss for a while, and when I actually start doing it, I'm not gonna lie, I will really need it to work. It will be a bit of an experiment. So I don't really know how well it's going to work or not work. I will not find out until I try. I've done some of my own edited videos in the past, especially around October, November last year, as you might remember, and many of them worked fairly well. So we'll see. I'm hoping it will work a little bit better than it did in late 2019, since now I'll have someone who's actually much better at editing than me helping me with it. And I'm not gonna lie, my channel is still not doing too great, as you might or might not be aware. Nothing really changed since I last talked about that. But I will continue experimenting with things, and hopefully sooner or later something will work. YouTube can't get rid of me that easily. And I still enjoy YouTube, even though I've been on YouTube since late 2011. That's 9 years now. That's a lot of time, actually. And I really appreciate all of you who have been around for years. I truly do. And I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about. So as I mentioned earlier, if you are interested in live streams, the best way to know I'm streaming is to follow me on Twitch or join the Discord server. Or both. I can't really upload notifications every time I start streaming. You can't really do those on YouTube anymore, as I mentioned. And I don't want to risk YouTube giving me a community strike or anything like that. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.